When the B-2 stealth bomber threw the GBU-57 into the air to launch a drill, although it did not have a rocket engine, the 4 active mountains and precise guidance systems still allowed it to accurately target the target. The length of the bomb is about 6 meters, the diameter is about 80 centimeters, and the total weight is about 14 tons. Due to its huge weight and the high hardness of the outer shell made of Neku steel alloy, it can pierce the ground like a hot knife cutting butter and drill through the reinforced mud layer by layer. Inside the bomb, there are more than 2.4 tons of high explosives that weigh more than 80% of the bomb. At the front of the drill, there is also a smart satellite device. The satellite in front of it can not only automatically record the penetration value during the drilling process, but also compare it with the parameters set in advance to determine the depth of the drill. If it is a multi-layer prototype, the smart satellite can also automatically record the penetration layer, and there is also a long-range satellite connected to the back of the fuse. This design is to ensure that the bomb will not explode early and improve the impact effect. When it reaches the set target depth, the back fuse will be triggered and produce an explosion similar to a small earthquake.
How deep can bunker buster bombs actually go? This Iranian commander named Rashid thought he'd built the perfect hideout, but what the Americans dropped on him was completely crazy. General Rashid was bragging to his officers about their new bunker 300 feet underground. "The Americans can drop whatever they want," he laughed. "This concrete can stop a freight train." His engineers had spent 3 years perfecting ultra-high-performance concrete that was stronger than steel. But what Rashid didn't know was that a B-2 Spirit was already circling overhead with something he'd never seen before: the GBU-57 massive ordnance penetrator. This 30,000-pound monster wasn't just a bomb. It was a bunker killer, designed specifically for guys like him. When it hit, the bomb didn't just penetrate the concrete, it kept going. 50 feet down, 100 feet, 150 feet, until it finally detonated 200 feet underground. The explosion was so powerful it created an earthquake that could be felt for miles.
How does the US GBU-57 bunker buster penetrate 60 meters of concrete? It may look like an ordinary bomb, but this 13.6-ton giant is built to destroy underground fortresses. Imagine a B-2 stealth bomber dropping this steel monster from 30,000 meters. It falls so fast that when it hits the ground, it slices through concrete like cutting through tofu. Its warhead isn't ordinary metal. Its forged steel alloy that resists heat and pressure ensures it keeps its solid steel form at the moment of impact. Adjustable tail fins make it dive with missile-like precision, with perfectly calculated angle and speed. But the real power is inside. It doesn't explode right away. Instead, a special fuse helps it dig deep into the ground before going off. Some versions even explode in stages. First, it drills a hole, then pushes the main warhead in deeper, and finally causes a huge explosion underground.
How deep can bunker buster bombs actually go? This Iranian commander named Rashid thought he'd built the perfect hideout, but what the Americans dropped on him was completely crazy. General Rashid was bragging to his officers about their new bunker 300 feet underground. "The Americans can drop whatever they want," he laughed. "This concrete can stop a freight train." His engineers had spent 3 years perfecting ultra-high-performance concrete that was stronger than steel. But what Rashid didn't know was that a B-2 Spirit was already circling overhead with something he'd never seen before: the GBU-57 massive ordnance penetrator. This 30,000-pound monster wasn't just a bomb. It was a bunker killer, designed specifically for guys like him. When it hit, the bomb didn't just penetrate the concrete, it kept going. 50 feet down, 100 feet, 150 feet, until it finally detonated 200 feet underground. The explosion was so powerful it created an earthquake that could be felt for miles.
Natanz, Iran, 2025, at the center of all this conflict is the most protected nuclear facility on Earth. Right now, America and its allies are targeting Iran's nuclear program. But to understand what they're actually trying to destroy, I'm going to show you inside this underground bunker. At 90,000 rotations per minute, these machines can turn natural uranium into nuclear weapons material. But here's the paradox. The same precision that makes them deadly also makes them incredibly fragile. In 2025, 15,000 of these machines destroyed themselves in a single night. I've modeled this facility to take you 50 meters underground to show you exactly what's happening in this conflict. To understand how 15,000 nuclear machines destroyed themselves, I'm taking you on 3 journeys. The fortress inside the world's most protected nuclear bunker that took Iran 20 years to build. The physics, how uranium becomes weapons grade, and why precision creates catastrophic vulnerability. The failure, how the most advanced nuclear facility defeated itself in a single night. By the end, you'll understand what's really at stake in this conflict, and why nuclear technology is both humanity's greatest achievement and its most fragile creation. In 2002, satellite images revealed something extraordinary. Iran was building a massive underground complex at Natanz that not until now has anyone shown you what they actually built. We start at ground level, administrative buildings, nothing special, but beneath your feet lies an engineering marvel that took 20 years to perfect. First, 22 meters of earth, then 2.5 meters of reinforced concrete. The roof can withstand nuclear attack. At 8 meters down, the first level, but we're going deeper, 50 meters underground. Welcome to what was the most protected nuclear facility on Earth. 2 caverns, each the size of 7 football fields, housing $3 billion worth of nuclear technology. This isn't just a nuclear facility, it's an underground factory that costs Iran 20 years and an estimated $50 billion to complete.
90 meters deep inside the Alamet mountain in Iran lays one of the most dangerous and sensitive secrets in the Middle East, the Fordow nuclear facility, the holy grail of the nuclear program of the Islamic Republic in Iran. It was built under hard rock and granite, surrounded by heavy security forces, advanced surveillance, air defense systems, and underground bunkers. It was built according to the weapon capabilities of both Israel and the United States. And once the regime in Iran realized that the IDF is developing more advanced capabilities, they went deeper and deeper underground. Therefore, penetrating Fordow is a very tough task, even for the American B-2 bombers and heavy bunker busters. Fordow was designed to survive airstrikes and maintain uranium enrichment capabilities, even when Israeli fighter jets fly freely in the sky of Iran, and despite the destruction of other nuclear sites. If there is one place that deeply troubles the West, all the way from Jerusalem to Washington, this is the place. And anyone who wants to stop the Iranian nuclear program must destroy it. Without destroying Fordow, the military nuclear project of the mullahs in Iran will continue to live on. For years, the Fordow nuclear enrichment facility considers to be one of the most central key components of the Iranian nuclear project. It is located 30 kilometers northeast to the Shia holy city of Qom, secretly built in 2006 inside an IRGC military base. No one knew about it until it was discovered by the Mossad in 2009. A discovery that changed everything. And although it doesn't have as many centrifuges as other facilities, the fact that it is so hard to destroy makes it the most sensitive nuclear assets of the Iranian regime. Even though it is not dependent on other facilities, and was built as an insurance policy in case other nuclear facilities might get destroyed, the purpose of Fordow is to be delivered with 60% level enriched uranium from the Natanz nuclear facility, and to enrich it to the level of 90%, which is the closest enrichment level required to build a nuclear bomb, which makes Fordow the most crucial part in the nuclear bomb production. Experts assess that even if only this facility alone will survive the attacks, Iran can reach a nuclear weapon within 2 months. The facility was carved about 90 meters below ground. The rock above it is extremely solid. It is fortified with extremely thick concrete and metal walls, which makes it impossible for standard bombs to penetrate. And up until recent days, before the Israeli Air Force tracked around it, it was surrounded by dozens of advanced air defense systems. The ability to destroy Fordow is both a technological and a military challenge. It is a challenge which requires several levels. It needs to get hit precisely at a specific point in order to penetrate all the way to the underground bunkers, which are quite small. Since the ground is so solid, it requires a bomb that won't break once hitting the surface, and also for the impact fuse to stay intact while the bomb penetrates the ground. On top of that, it needs to explode in the exact spot in order to destroy what is under there. The Israeli Air Force never faced a challenge of that scale. Even the MOP, the Massive Ordnance Penetrator Bomb, which contains 1.5-ton explosive material and is made out of hard steel that is designed to penetrate solid materials, cannot destroy Fordow in just one go. Heavy bunker busters like the GBU-57 and bombers such as the American B-2 which can carry them are one of the only tools that can cause severe enough damage to the nuclear facility. Israel might not have these tools, but there are few things that Israel can do which won't require American intervention. One of them is to bomb Fordo on its own with a military technique called sequential bombings. The Israeli Air Force has GBU-28 bunker busters in its arsenal, which maybe only has 300 kilograms of explosive material, but theoretically, if the Air Force would send 10 F-15, each of them carrying 3 of these GBUs, on the first wave, the aircrafts will strike on the mountainside, that is the nearest point to the centrifuge wall of Fordo. After these 30 bombs explode, they'll create a very wide hole. On the second wave, the jets will drop the same amount of bombs, aiming to the same hole created on the first wave. After the fourth wave, the IAF will be able to bomb the underground facility and destroy it. Later on, they can drop smaller bombs around it to make sure it's destroyed beyond repair.
Paano nababasag ng 13,000 kilogram na GBU-57 bunker buster ang hanggang 60 meters na konkretong pader? Matapos itong ibagsak mula sa taas na 30 kilometro ng isang B-2 stealth bomber? Ang bombang ito ay isa sa pinakamabigat at pinakamakapangyarihang sandatang hindi nuklear ng US. Kapag inihulog mula sa matinding taas, bumibilis ito sa ilalim ng gravity at aerodynamic na disenyo hanggang umabot sa sobrang bilis na lagpas pa sa tunog, supersonic. Pagbagsak nito sa target, ang lakas ng tama ay parang kidlat na tumama sa makapal na bakal. Gawa ito sa isang espesyal na haluang metal ng nickel at chromium. Mas matibay at mas kayang tiisin ang init kaysa sa karaniwang bakal. Dahil dito, buo pa rin ang warhead kahit matapos ang unang pagbangga. May streamlined na katawan at mga buntot na pwedeng ayusin ang direksyon, gaya ng ginagamit sa mga JDAM bombs. Tumutulong ito para tamaan ng tama at sa pinaka-epektibong anggulo. Sa tulong ng GPS at inertial guidance, kaya nitong tumama sa target na may error margin na mas mababa sa 1 meter. Hindi ito sumasabog agad sa unang tama. May delay ang pagsabog, mga 0.3 segundo matapos ang impact, para makalusot muna ng mas malalim. May ibang bersyon na may multi-stage na fuse. Ang unang pasabog ay nagbubukas ng daan, ang ikalawa ay nagtutulak pababa, at ang huli ang malakas na sumasabog sa pinakaloob. At kahit hindi ito umabot sa pinakailalim, ang lakas ng pagsabog nito, higit 10 beses na mas makapangyarihan kaysa alinmang karaniwang bomba ng US, ay sapat para burahin ang anumang nasa loob ng 600-meter radius.